What's the first step you have to do every single time before you even write your name on the piece of paper? What's the first step we have to do in solving a problem? Durga.
I know.
Simplify the problem. How do we do the simplification of the problem? How do we simplify? What's the steps that we need to do with our partners when we simplify? Arnav?
To read the thing, what it says, and then underline.
To read what's the thing that you're talking about?
The paragraph, and then underline the keyword.
The key terms. So we're looking for those key terms that we're going to underline before we do anything else. Where do we find the information that can help us when we come to solving this problem? Where in this room can we find the information to help us solve this problem? Below? Okay, on our anchor charts, right? So our anchor charts have all the information that you need. We have some of the vocabulary up there, and the new words that we learned today in dividend and divisor are on the board. I want to see these terms being used in your discussion, and obviously when you're actually answering the problem with your group.
At 4 people can fit in one taxi cab. So we're gonna have to count 4 times walk and get us 4. 13 divided by walk and get us 4, or 4 times walk and get us 13. So now we're gonna have to explain our thinking and write it on this piece of papers.
I want to know what strategy you're going to use. So you're going to use a computation, or are you going to use a diagram? I want the 3 of you to discuss what role each of you are going to play in order to solve the problem. So is Jonathan going to be doing the pictures, or is he going to be doing the computation? I want you to have that discussion before you even start answering. Okay? So I want you to put your markers down and have that conversation between the 3 of you, how it's going to look and what role each of you are going to do in solving the problem. Okay? 13 plus 2 would be your first computation.
13.
Right? Because we have the 13 players plus the 2 coaches. You have to show your thinking. So you're going to have 1 computation for the 13 players and the 2 coaches. What's your total number of people now? 15. Okay, now what's the next part that you simplified in your problem?
What I simplified?
Yeah, but what was it that you simplified next? If you know that there's 15 people in total, what's the next step?
How many tabs will be?
Okay, so what's your next computation going to look like? If you know that there's 15 people, 13 players plus the 2 coaches gives you 15. What's your next computation going to be? 15. 15 divided by 4. Do you agree? Why do you agree? 15 represents what number? What does 15 represent? Quite. It's a division question right now. We have a computation including division. What does the 15 mean here? That's the dividend. That's right, it is a dividend, but what does the 15 mean?
It means like how many people are there.
Right? It's the 13 players plus the 2 coaches. That's the total number of people. The 4 represents...
The cabs. I mean, how many people can fit in the cab?
Exactly. The 4 represents how many people can fit in the cab, which is what's the word for this number 4? Divisor. Okay, I'm glad you're using the charts to help you. So now you need to figure out anything else. What did they do well?
They draw a numbered line.
But okay, so we can see their skip counting here. What else did we notice that they did well?
That they add 3 plus 2 that gave them 15 because there were 13 players and 2 coaches.
Good. So they actually did start with simplifying the problem. We can see that on they're underlining the key information. You're right, they did the addition computation first.
And they even use guess test.
What type of diagram did they use to actually solve the problem?
Like they draw a circle.
What's that called? What strategy is that from our division unit?
Grouping.
Equal grouping.
Equal grouping. So they put 4.
they see if it's going to be equal or not, but it won't be equal, so that space is left. So, and then they roll it so that there'll be one space left.
Okay, so they first talked about how they added to 15, but they didn't explain why they had to add to 15.
First we add up to 15, but I don't know.
Did they explain why they had to add to 15?
No.
No, so we might need a little bit more explanation there. What did this group do well, and what's something you would give them as far as feedback?
Okay, first I'll tell you something that they didn't do like that good. So they didn't use RAS. Why did they put RAS? They didn't write anything down. So like,
Well, I do see some writing at the bottom. What do they have?
they have like 13 plus 2 equals 15. 15 divided 4 equals 3. They scribbled this out, so I don't know. Times something equal something times 4 equals 15.
So they have included their numbers, and they started with the addition sentence, then they went to division. They connected the relationship between division and multiplication, but 15 divided by 4, should it be 3?
No, it's not 3. It shouldn't be 3.
What's closer to the number that they're looking for?
Okay, so let's just do 4 times 4 equals 16. But it's closer to 15, so I would rather do that than put this. This is, number 3 isn't closer to 15.
Okay, so you might want to include that in the feedback you're providing them, okay?